Welcome back, everybody, to the GioMoShow. Let's get into the Oakland University NCAA sports update. Let's get some D1 involved in here. And to start off, we got some little news here from Oakland University track and field. So on October 13th, they played in the Pink Classic, or they ran in the Pink Classic. The men came away with 13th place, and the women came away with 4th place. And they will now be heading to... Where will they be heading to? Hold on, let me read this. They will be heading to the EMU Fall Classic for their final regular season meet. That will be 4:30 p.m. today, I believe, as of this recording, this being Friday the 20th. So be sure to stay up to date with Oakland track and field and cross country on Instagram and Twitter for more information. And now let's get into your Oakland University Esports. We have plenty of games to cover, so I'm going to take you through all of them. Rocket League this past Tuesday, they took on Boise and Kansas, and they finished the regular season. That one was the last match of the regular season of fall 2023. Oakland finishes with a 6-2 record, securing second place in the standings. They will be back next week to start the LCQ to earn a spot in the playoffs. Smash Brothers, they faced Missouri State on Tuesday, where they beat MSU Esports 2-0. GG's. They will be back to Pokemon Stadium 2 next Tuesday in a match against Carthage. League of Legends, they faced Oklahoma Christian, in where they fell to the, well, let's say to the Christians. They lost 2-0, and they will be back Thursday against WKU. We'll get to that in just a moment here. Rocket League, they faced Northwood's both white and blue team. The blue team, yes, that one's the blue team. Blue team finished 3-0 against the Golden Grizzlies, and the white team, they finished 3-2 in match 5 against the Golden Grizzlies. So no victories against Northwood, but that's why Northwood is one of the best in the country. Smash Brothers, they faced Michigan Tech, where they had a win over the Huskies, 2-0. GG's. And the Smash Brothers team will finish their regular season with a 6-0 record, taking first place in the division and automatically earning a spot in the playoffs with that first seed. So well done to the Smash Brothers team. League of Legends, they face Western Kentucky, where we're still waiting upon results for that match, as well as Rocket League against Illinois and Nicholas. We're still awaiting results on that one. On Oakland Esports' Twitter accounts. That's where you can find all the news and upcoming events, links to all the streams of their matches. So be sure to follow them and to keep up with them on at Oakland Esports. And you can find them on Twitch. You can find their matches at twitch.tv/Oakland Esports. Very simple to remember. Moving on now to swim and dive. They had a meet, just the women, against the Toledo Rockets as they came to the Oakland Aquatic Center for this past Friday, the 13th. Spooky. And the Toledo Rockets, they beat the Golden Grizzlies 167-30 to 133. And the Rockets, they took gold. They took first place in 10 of the 16 events. And Oakland did finish first place in both of the diving events. 1 meter and 3 meter diving had Ellie Shalafo win gold in both. And that earned her the Horizon League Women's Diver of the Week. So congratulations and go Golden Grizzlies for the pool. They will be now coming up to a meet against Purdue and Rutgers on Friday, November 3rd and Saturday, November 4th. And that's going to be at West Lafayette, Indiana. So they're going to be going away for that one. Women's soccer, they've had an interesting couple of games here. Last Thursday, October 12th, that's the last time you heard the GioMoShow. That game was going live while we were talking about it. But the Oakland Golden Grizzlies, they finished with a 2-1 victory on the road at IUPUI. They then followed that up with a home game here. On homecoming, I had the call for that one along with Joey Hayes against Green Bay. It was a tough defensive match where neither team was able to crack the other's defenses, and ended in a 0-0 draw. They will now be facing the number 1 ranked in the Horizon League, Milwaukee Panthers. They're going to be facing them tomorrow, October 21st at 1 p.m., and you can hear that one on WXOU as well. And they will then finish the regular season at Detroit Mercy on Wednesday, October 25th, and then they will be heading into the Horizon League tournament. For the IUPUI game, where we won 2-1, it was Anuhea Alui who had a goal, as well as Frankie Mudd, to get the victory for the Golden Grizzlies. And in the game against Green Bay, there were plenty of shots flying despite the 0-0 draw. Oakland had 13 shots and Green Bay had 12. and Oakland had 6 of them on goal, Green Bay with 9. And as for their Women's Horizon League soccer standings, Milwaukee still at first place with a 6-0-2 record and 20 conference points. And we find Oakland at the 4th seed with a 3-1-4 record and 13 points in the Horizon League, tied with Robert Morris and IUPUI with those 13 conference points. Moving on now to men's basketball. They had their first game of the season. It's exhibition against Walsh University, but still worth covering on the GioMoShow and still worth covering on WXOU. I had the call for this one along with Jacob Verostek. That one was so much fun to call. I love calling basketball, and I'm so glad that the season is now back. So the Walsh Cavaliers, they came by to visit the Golden Grizzlies at the arena last night, that being Thursday the 19th, and Oakland, unfortunately, did not come away with a win, lost 75-69 to the Cavaliers in a game that, frankly, surprised me. Normally, I mean, you see exhibition games, and you're like, okay, they're going to have some lower-ranked team, and they're going to, they're going to beat the brakes off of them and have some fun and kind of get a feel for get a better feel for the game, practice some of their offense. I mean, that at least was my impression from last year. That was some of the first games I watched against Grand Valley and then Rochester University. But this game, man, the Cavaliers gave it to them, and I'm calling it like I saw it. I was on the sideline. I was calling it the whole time. I think I have some credibility in this one. But the main story, I would say, for this game was Kobe Mitchell for the Walsh Cavaliers. He had 32 points in this game and was 9 of 14 from 3. Incredible shooting. The guy was lights out. He was 11 of 17 from the field, 1 of 2 from his free throws, had a few rebounds, had a few assists, and had a couple steals as well. Kobe Mitchell was just everywhere for the Cavaliers. Golden Grizzlies were able to slow him down as the game went on, but the damage was pretty much done by the time they got to that. That was around, I would say, 10 minutes left in the game that Mitchell was starting to be slowed down significantly. But the Cavaliers, they got up to as much as an 11-point lead throughout the game. Oakland got it within 2 at certain points, but it kind of fluctuated within that 11-2 range in the game. But that one was still a lot of fun to watch. Kobe Mitchell was just everywhere. I was astonished. But going to the Golden Grizzlies, and I'm not saying that there wasn't anything good to take away for the Golden Grizzlies in this game. Trey Townsend, he had a lot of the offensive production. He had 22 points, was 8 of 16 from the field, and made 6 of his 10 free throws, 9 rebounds and 3 assists as well, a block and a steal to go on top of that. Jack Golke for the Golden Grizzlies, what was as advertised, the three-point shooter. He's going to, that's his specialty. That's his key. He's going to be throwing up threes. He had 15 points and was 5 of 14 from the three-point arc, and then there's a couple of those three-pointers that were down to the wire, less than a minute left to go in the game. He had a couple of them and showed that he's got a little bit of that clutch shooting in him as well. DQ Cole had some of the three-point shots late in the game as well. He went 2 of 6 and 3 of 7 from 3. He had a nice steal for a layup in the second half as well, or I can't remember which half, but he had a nice steal for a layup in the game as well. He totaled 8 points in the game. And then Tone Hunter, him and Rocket Watts were sharing the point guard position throughout the game. Tone Hunter, he was 4 of 8 from the field, 0 of 2 from 3, 1 of 2 from the stripe. He had 4 assists for 9 points. And Rocket Watts, he was 3 of 8 from the field, 1 of 3 from 3, had 5 rebounds, 2 assists, and a block as well for 7 points. So we're kind of seeing Tone Hunter, we're seeing Rocket Watts, they're kind of sharing the point guard position, at least from what we saw from this game. So we're going to see as the season goes on who's going to be taking that the main starting role as the point guard, or if they're going to be splitting it throughout the entire season. So we'll see that throughout the season. So those are some of the highlights of the men's basketball exhibition match against Walsh University. And let's be frank, it's exhibition. It don't matter. Golden Grizzlies have a lot to clean up, and they now have the tape to recognize what they have to work on. And going to go from there. They're going to be playing Wayne State Monday the 30th at the arena for another exhibition game before getting started in the regular season. And I can't wait for that regular season. Moving on now to volleyball. They had a also interesting homecoming weekend. Friday, October 13th. I had the call for that one on WXOU. It was against the Panthers, who were ranked number 1, and Oakland had the opportunity to take first place in the Horizon League. did not quite do so. They lost 0-3 to the Panthers, but they came back. The other team that was above them in the Horizon League standings was Green Bay. So both the Wisconsin teams have been, giving it to the Horizon League all season long. So they came to visit on the next day, October 14th, and it took him all the way to set 5. Oakland coming away with a victory 3-2 against the Phoenix on Senior Day. They are now on the road. Well, now they're on the road. They're about to play at Robert Morris, that being today, Friday at 6 p.m., and they will also be at Youngstown State to face the Penguins before coming home on October 24th, that being Tuesday, against Purdue Fort Wayne for Pride Night. Looking at least at the stats of the Green Bay game, we saw a great performance by many of the Golden Grizzlies. Patty Cicerini had 21 kills in the 5 sets. Emily Wickman with 37 digs. Ainsley Gousset with 4 blocks. And Rachel Rossman with 27 assists. As far as the standings are concerned, Wright State has taken the first spot in the Horizon League with an 8-2 conference record. Milwaukee behind them 7-2, Northern Kentucky 7-3, and we got Oakland 6-3 in the Horizon League. So Oakland ranked 4th so far in the standings. Men's soccer had a lot of fun in the rain of homecoming weekend. They played Friday against the Raiders in a game that finished with a 5-0 victory for the Golden Grizzlies in constant rain. It was just such a sloppy game. We weren't able to get the call on WXOU because of the rain. But let me give you the goal scorers for the Golden Grizzlies. We got Owen Smith. He was assisted by Luke Benford and Donovan Phillip. Donovan Phillip got a score himself, assisted by Vile Ahola and Mikey Keteman. Malik Sylvester got another goal, unassisted. Mikey Keteman, he got in the action as well, assisted by Marco Matsai and Luke Benford. And then Owen Smith got another one, assisted by Mikey Keteman. So, plenty of scoring to go around against the Raiders, and especially after their tough loss to Western Michigan, I believe was the previous game where they lost 0-5. They then beat the Raiders 5-0. Shots during that game, Oakland had 13 with 9 of them on goal, and Wright State had 8 with 4 on goal. And then they went on to face the Louisville Cardinals this past Tuesday. A very good ACC team. Oakland University fell 4-0. They now go on the road for the Horizon League games. RMU is in their sights tomorrow at noon, October 21st. And then later they face Green Bay at Green Bay, October 28th at 2 p.m. before coming back home to finish off the regular season against Detroit Mercy for the blackout game. That's going to be November 1st, Wednesday at 2 p.m. And then they're on to the Horizon League tournament. And as far as the standings are concerned for that, IUPUI stands at first place with 13 conference points and a 4-1-1 record, 6-5-3 overall. And then Oakland is right behind them. We got 12 conference points. We got a 4-2 record overall, or in conference, and then 5-7-2 overall. So Oakland's knocking on the door, and these next 3 games are going to be crucial for getting that first seed in the Horizon League tournament. And with that, that is going to wrap up your Oakland NCAA D1 sports update on the GioMoShow. And before we go back to break, I got to tell you about Friday Night Groove. Fridays at 8 p.m., listen to Friday Night Groove right here on WXOU. Hosted by DJ RBJ since 2011. Friday Night Groove is your home for some of the best soul, jazz, electronic, indie, and alternative music here at the station. He also has interviews with the artists and one of the best radio voices in the game. You can go to FridayNightGrooves.com and follow at Trill Gunderson. That's Tril Gunderson on Instagram for the latest on the show. Friday Night Grooves, Fridays at 8 p.m. on WXOU. We'll be right back with the GioMoShow for your NFL football therapy.